This is Seriously Live.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of SL Live. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to preview all three matches today, and I have my guest, Eric. Eric, would you like to say something to the people?
Hey, what's up, guys?
All right, so we're going to go ahead and get right into it. Eric, I want to hear your thoughts on the Roadhouse versus Miracle matchup.
Honestly, I like the picks that Miracle have gotten over the last week. They picked up Bulldog, Iceman, pretty much the benchers from Fear, just to kind of help out Fausto. I don't think it's going to be as much of a stat pad as what Miracle faced against Rejects. I think that Fausto leading them and getting those additional recruits, they're going to make it a little closer. If Roadhouse has what I suggested in my prediction, M4, Palm going back to Medic, and Pandy, he's pretty much got his system error core group. They can cause as many upsets as possible, but this match is theirs easily.
Okay, and what would you suggest that Miracle do in order to win this match? What map would service them the best?
I would go with EC. I think Fausto's most comfortable on EC, especially with the group he's got. And you're going to have players like Bulldog, who usually meds, just because he's got more experience than some of the guys that are on the roster, he's probably going to Marine. So I feel like EC would be their best map.
Okay, and just a real quick shout out for the Miracle guys. You only get to pick the map, or you get to pick the side. You guys don't get both. I think they were a little bit confused last week, and they thought they got to pick map and side, which is why they ended up on KR with Titan. So,
you know, SF doesn't know any better. Poor guy.
Yeah, but he's doing a good job. I mean, I think as the season goes on, these guys will continuously get better. What I want to see them do is I think they should choose EC as well. I think it'll be the map that is kind of the most even.
Right.
And they should kind of more stick close as a group and try and catch one of these two groups from Roadhouse off. Because I think Roadhouse will come into this match super overconfident. And I think if they'll be able to catch a group off, they'll be able to have a lot of success.
No, I completely agree. I want Darth to lead for these guys, and I'm not sure if it has been him or if Palm's been leading, or even if Palm leads. I've never really NT'd for these guys, so I'm hoping Darth leads. But if that's the case, Darth usually keeps his teams close together as well, so that would be interesting.
Yeah, I would like to see that as well. Who would you say would be like the key factors for Miracle?
Fausto, hands down. Other than Fausto, I'm not going with the Iceman hype. He's terrible. He's probably not going to show. I'll go with Vince Carter.
Okay. And I think it's time for my man Jerry to pull it out against M4 and crew. He needs to show me something this week, Jerry. I'm calling you out, boy. Do something. So, as for Roadhouse, what do they have to do in order to win this match?
Just go in there not overconfident like you were stating. If they just go in and, you know, of course have a little bit of confidence because their Marines obviously outmatch Miracles, and just avoid dumb deaths, they'll win, you know?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the same thing, and they just need to just play smart, play normal, and have most of their guys, you know, show up, and they'll do just fine. But if Pandy and M4 and Manu and the rest of them guys don't show up, this could be a really good match.
Yeah, like pretty much all the Bronzy Bear players that joined them last minute. If honestly, like you said, if they don't show up, Fausto could probably steal a win here for Miracle.
They could, and that would completely eliminate my preseason prediction and probably
put Dave in the playoffs.
Yeah, put Dave in the playoffs, and nobody wants to see that, folks. I mean, let me tell you, that'd be bad. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next big matchup of the week, and that's Rejects versus Fear. What do you think about that matchup?
If Overwatch and Warhawks weren't playing against each other, I would say that would be the next match of the week. As Iso also said. But I see Fear coming away with this one, especially because Dave said he's not going to make this week, I believe, in one of your podcasts. So that puts a lot on Leo. And hopefully Soul will show up and Nosekeeper. They don't really have strong medics. You have to play Chica.
Well, I even
And-
hear Chica's not going to show up this weekend because it's her birthday.
Wow. All right, so you gotta hope Fire shows, and then after that, Emblem.
Yeah, I
Maybe.
guess Emblem, or maybe you see the return of Babel.
Oh God.
I mean, last week that game versus Miracle was close for about 10 minutes until it got real bad real quick.
Really? I didn't even watch that match, so I couldn't even
Yeah.
comment on that.
Yeah, if you go back and watch the video of it, they were kind of hanging close for about 10 minutes, and they even they got even the first 2 kills, but
Hmm.
it was just too much Nosekeeper. I mean, that guy.
Yeah,
just-
if Soul wasn't on the team, I'd say Nosekeeper is easily their best Marine.
Yeah. So.
But-
Go ahead.
I was gonna jump onto Fear at
Yeah,
this
go
point. Fear played very well against us last week, and I thought they were actually gonna win. But Sov too strong and micromanaging, letting Andrew not make any mistakes was kind of pretty. And Mecha dying twice in the same battle kind of gave us a confidence boost.
The 225 hype.
I know he's overrated for having to lead and try and carry the team as well. I mean, he's still got Jeff, but to me, he should be. I'd put him at 160 if he's having the lead. Don't get me wrong. Again, he's a good player, but only when he can focus on killing and not micromanaging everybody else.
What happened to
need-
District last week too? He was supposed to be a big factor with these guys, and he completely disappeared and shit the bed.
I even asked him about that. He contributed it to taking medications because
Oh,
he had a
come
long
on,
day at work.
yeah.
Yeah, he gave me that excuse. But if you
I mean, I was
watch him,
drunk last week. Come on.
I know. If you watch him, I mean, I had a few plays, but he was overextended and just easy to pick off.
Okay.
He only got most of his kills in the last 30 seconds when everybody was just suiciding.
Yeah.
DP was their best Marine last week, and after DP, I'd put Brilhart. And against Rejects, I think DP, he deserved a starting spot as Marine for them. I see they picked up Hustler, and I just see them coming away with the win this week. I think they're gonna choose who's home. Rejects.
Yeah.
Rejects will probably choose EC because it's Leo. And I mean it doesn't matter. I think Fear is gonna overpower them without Dave there.
What do you think? What do you think the score is going to be?
I see Leo playing passive and Mecha and Jeff wanting to be aggressive, so I'm gonna put it in the 40s. I'll say roughly. Let's go with 45 to 36. It's still gonna be close, but I think Fear's gonna come away with it.
Okay. If Dave doesn't show up to this match, I think it gets real bad. I think it gets real bad. We're talking like 60-30 range. I know Chica's not going to be there, which means you're going to have to play Astro or Babel or Cypher or
Whoever that is.
Or maybe we'll see the return of SV. Who knows? He'll grace us with his presence again. But you
Or
got to be.
maybe Kulma.
I
Is that
mean,
who Astro is?
no, Astro's another one of those old timey CTF players.
Oh, okay.
He lags a little bit, but overall he's not. He's a good guy, to be honest with you. Not the best player, but he's an okay dude.
I don't see SV showing up. I think he's still hurt after last season's playoffs and causing Double Dragons to lose.
Oh my! Let's not even talk about that 1-8. Let's just say there were people upset at him. All right, and I wasn't one of them. So.
No, I know.
But I think if Dave shows this match, and he said he might, but you never know what the scumbag Dave is. You know, he could fall asleep with a chicken wing in his mouth like he did to me last week. You know, I mean, you never know with that kind of guy. You really don't. But if he doesn't show up, then I think that puts a lot of pressure on Leo, and it puts a lot of pressure on the Nosekeeper too, because Soul's never going to show up. He might show up versus my squad, but then again, I expect to see everyone's best every single week. So, you know.
I hear you.
Surprise player for me this week, gonna be Cage.
Cage?
Yeah, I think if Rejects has a chance to win, Cage has to play big.
All right. I'm gonna say for them, it'll be Leo. With him leading, I think he's gonna know that a lot is on his shoulders, and he's gonna answer that. I feel that he'll step up big for them. And
Okay.
as for Fear, I'll say District, like I did in my prediction. I'm not gonna. I don't think he'd ever have two bad matches like that in a row. That was definitely a rare form to see District play that bad last
Yeah,
week.
especially seeing that he's the newfound pub star. Going 60
According
and
to
20.
Break.
Yeah, according to the analysis of Break. The one guy I want to see show up, I want to see Jake show up. I think if Jake shows up, this roster gets a lot better. I was really impressed with Jake the last couple seasons, just how well he's actually been playing, and that's something that's went under the radar to a lot of people.
No, I agree because he was on Double Dragons with us. So
Yeah.
seeing him play, even though he's not that active, he's still one of their better Marines on the roster. But I think he's just too addicted to League of Legends and getting his other accounts banned on there.
Jake,
to
you gotta
really
quit being
show up.
toxic. You gotta cut that out, man. You just gotta mute everybody and play your game, and you'll get out of bronze. I promise you.
He's worse than Apollo in that game, man.
Oh no. Let's. Oh. So, all right. So we're gonna go ahead and go on to the feature match of the week, and that's going to be Overwatch versus Warhawks. So, what do you got to say about this? Obviously, you don't want to give away too much, but what do you have to say?
I think it's going to be a good match. I think you guys obviously have the best Marine lineup this season, and I think obviously we have the best meds, but
I mean, you guys
having
ordered all
to-
the meds.
I know.
I mean, that's
Gift is
smart
a
on Gift's
scumbag.
part. I mean, that I'm gonna go ahead and say that's a smart move on Gift. If he takes everyone else's meds away, then everyone's pretty much easy to beat.
No, I agree, and I mean, if you and I hate pointing Jane out like this, but your second medic pretty much is your weak point because Water's a good medic, and if we can take out Jane, I mean, you guys can crumble. And I've noticed that in the scrims we've had against you guys, at least on EC when I played, you guys like to run a 3-3-2 because I was always the one soloing, and I would always run into the group of two. So if we can take advantage of things like that, then I don't know. It'll be an interesting match. I think it'll be close, like our scrims have been. But again, those are scrims. You can't really tell much.
Yeah, everyone
But-
trolls in scrims for some reason. I don't understand.
Yeah.
People just troll around. But everyone keeps calling out Jane. I'm gonna kind of defend her a little bit here. Obviously, yeah, she's on my squad, but everyone keeps saying, yeah, she's bad and this and that. But
No,
she's
I'm
not really
I'm not
that
saying
bad.
she's bad. I'm saying in comparison to other medics and even the medics on your team, position-wise, she is lacking, I guess, for
I think
lack
her-
of better words.
I think her best map is EC. It's a map to where you can kind of hide your medics a little bit. They're not out in the open as in KR or Apollo's map.
Right.
And it's easier for her to just sit in the back and heal. Kind of like Soraka. You just sit in the bush and heal. And that's kind of where we're at on that. So, if there was one person you wanted to call out from my team, who would you think it would be?
I'm gonna call out Raver.
Whoa! You're gonna call
yeah.
out Raver?
He had 6 deaths against Roadhouse. I mean, come on, man. You're better than that. I'm used to you going like 20-2 or 20-3 against a stat pad like that. I know you guys started off slow and rusty, but he died way too much. I didn't expect that.
I mean, you got to understand though. Maybe Raver's feeling a little bit of sympathy because those used
'Cause
to be
it's
his old.
Darth and his boys, yeah, I
it's
know.
Darth and his boys, and he was helping destroy them. Imagine how in his little Peruvian heart how he felt.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah.
Give him his stats back.
Give him his stats. I mean, that's all the man wants. He's the Excel master, right? So the one person I'm gonna call out in Warhawks is actually you.
Oh, me.
I think that you performed freaking terrible last week, and if you perform up to that same standard, then you're gonna be a liability, and they might even want to think about bringing in Break.
Oh, shit, man.
It might be time to bust out the Break.
I don't know. I think Draco will show up and take my spot. I agree. I played like garbage against Fear. I only got cleanup kills, but part of what's good about our squad is, yeah, Andrew will lead and Sav will micromanage, but me and Gift are also very vocal. So
Well, that's the
Regard-
exact opposite I've heard. I've heard that Gift isn't very vocal. That's what they were telling me. I mean, I played with the guy one season, and I liked him. I thought he always talked a lot, but that's what they're telling me, that Gift's really not that vocal.
maybe because I don't know, maybe it's just based on who he's played with, but you gotta think, other than like Sav, most of these people have been on Warhawks, like on SOE, so he's comfortable with them. He's comfortable talking with them, and not. I don't know. He talks a lot for us, so it is what it is.
Okay, good stuff. I see that Warhawks has the map choice, so that'll be interesting to see what they decide to do Sunday.
Absolutely.
In my opinion, I think having side pick is way more important than having map choice.
Hey,
that's
are you
just-
trying to play mind games right now?
I mean,
Hoping
who-
Gift will listen to this before the match?
I mean, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, you take it for what it's worth. I mean, right? So, what if you think if you had to have an ending score, what would it be?
I would say again in the 40s.
Okay.
Like my prediction, probably 45-40.
Okay.
Going to you guys. I think
Whoa, you're
you
going to predict
guys...
us the winner?
Yeah.
Where's the confidence in your own
Yeah.
team?
No. I think you guys will end up, unless we go 8s. If we go 8s, I think we have a little bit more depth, and you guys then have to play Albert or Miz or Shasta, who probably
you
isn't
talking
getting
about?
enough rest.
I think if Shasta comes on, or I think Albert, he did fine last week. I mean, hell, last week I was the least productive Marine on my squad.
But you're leading. You at least have somewhat of an excuse, and technically, if I recall, you said you were drunk. while
I mean,
playing.
well, yeah, but let's not. I'm not district, so I'm not going to hold on to that crap. You know what I mean? But I think if Albert continues to play it the way he does, he's going to surprise a lot of you guys. I mean, he's right up there in kills on my team. And the guy that I've been most impressed with, and he's quiet, doesn't say a whole lot, is OMC. He's just in there. He just does his thing, and he just does it right.
OMC has always been quiet, man. He always seems to team up with Jane, too. So you guys, I mean, for putting a squad together last minute, you guys have a good core group that has a lot of chemistry together, you know? So
Yeah.
we'll just have to see what happens on Sunday.
I mean, it should be a fun, entertaining match, and I predict the score to be 35-45 us. I think I'm just going to go ahead and put this out here, but I think we play on EC, and if we play on EC, that's a map I won a championship on. So obviously, I think we hold an advantage there.
Fair enough. Who do you think is going to be your standout Marine?
I think it's going to be Chris. ESO showed up last week. I think Chris will show up this week, or maybe even ER once he hears this podcast will pick it up. I mean, I thought he did fine last week, but you were calling him out, calling him a scumbag and everything. So, you know.
I
Hey,
mean, I'm kind of halfway through the season. I'm expecting him to go over to Roadhouse to join Darth and M4 going to you guys. That's a 225 trade that Dave was talking about, if we're doing trades.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like having Raver on my team. I'd love to have M4 too, but hey, we'll see where the season takes us. So with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this portion of SL Live.